Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And your Lord of Pennies is here as well. Say hello, Satsu.
What up, Dev?
I am your Lord of Pain, and we are here to entertain and mock you for the next 2 hours.
What?
What I said? Did I say that wrong again? Damn it. How you guys doing tonight? How you doing, Scribbles?
I'm doing okay. I'll relay to the audience as I relayed to you before the stream started. I'm a little down at the moment. My sister contacted me and said, "Hey, I'm going nuts, stir crazy. I'm thinking about getting a little rental car because she doesn't have a car like I do, and coming over and I'm picking you up. We'll just go around driving or something. How's that?" And I'm like, I want to, but my paranoia / caution makes me want to wait. And it's rational, irrational. I'm very unhappy that I felt that way, but I felt that way strongly enough that I was just like, not yet. Once we get some kind of all clear on this, I'm going to spoil the hell out of you with a breakfast or something and milkshakes and cookies. But right now I just like, I don't know my status. I don't know her status, etc., and onward. And it's just really bumming me out right now. But that's how I am. Otherwise, I'm fine. I had a quiet work day and everything else is kosher. So that's me.
Officer Buck, thank you so much. Who says, "Hey, chat, Satsu, Scribe, and Sticky Monkey." I've cleaned up. I'm not sticky anymore.
Ew.
Satsu, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. I talked to Squishy about making my next appointment or whatever to see what's going on with my chest or whatever. And it seems like they won't be able to see me for a while. So I'm just like, I don't know what I should do about this. Because from when I went to the doctor, I told you guys the doctor said it's not serious, or it doesn't seem to be serious based on all the tests that they've done. But it's still worrying me a little bit. So we'll see what happens there. Otherwise, Squeetus was being insane today, as usual. And I just hung out with Squeetus and Squishy most of the day.
I'm extremely tired. For those of you who listen to the other shows, you know what's going on there. I'm not going to get into it again, but I am tired, you guys. I'm just exhausted. But the time has come to sing a very special song to my granddaughter, Little Butt.
Oh,
who is, without giving her exact birth date away, I don't know if we've mentioned it before, but this seems like a good enough time to do it. 5, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
5. She's getting so big, and Little Butt, sweetheart, if your mom's letting you listen to this, you should be asleep, honey, but this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday
to you. Happy birthday, dear Grand Monkey.
Dear Grand Monkey.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to
you.
My little sunshine. I hope you have a great birthday. I love you, sweetheart. Mwah. Yeah, God, they're getting older, which means I'm getting older.
I've still got that one of the first streams where she showed up and was like trying to crawl inside your microphone box.
Oh yes.
That's still one of my most watched videos on my channel. It's just like Grand Monkey Strikes or something, and it's just like you just hear this and this, and you're like, no, don't get in there, child. It was just hilarious.
Yeah, she kept trying to. I had a box around the microphone at the time, and she was literally crawling in there, like, no, get out here. Such memories.
She was 2. She
Yeah.
was 2 then, and 3 years. Oh my God.
Yeah, she has real conversations now.
I know.
With the occasional.
Yes. Necessary.
Because that's who she is. She's a sweetheart. But yes, honey, if you're out there, happiest of birthday, sweetie. now I have to talk for just a minute because I can't say that to her and then say what I have to say next right on top of each other. I need some sort of signal to her mother. It's like, okay, this would be the time to cut it off now. So just a moment, and then we'll get on to this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button, you guys, and please share our stuff. And especially these two gentlemen, they actually do content. So get out there and share. Share. Do it.
Sharing is caring.
Do it. Scribbles. I suppose I heard a rumor there was a little bit of news today.
And my heart is broken. Well, not really, but well, let's talk about that through the lens of our favorite friend at CNN, Chris Cillizza.
Oh, of course he has an opinion. Wait, let me guess.
Okay.
He has given us the 5 most likely predictions for the Democratic nomination now that Bernie's dropped out.
Well, truth be told, no.
Oh, damn.
It's not that, but here's the headline. Why Joe Biden starts as the general election frontrunner.
Because you're CNN and what else would happen?
Because it's a coin toss at this point, kind of, sort of. With Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders' decision to end his campaign on Wednesday, it's now official. Former Vice President Joe Biden will be the Democratic presidential nominee this fall, conceivably. And Biden starts the general election against President Donald Trump as the frontrunner, albeit not a huge one.
You know, before we move on too much, how horrible would it be if Biden died tomorrow?
Well, as a human being, it would be terrible, Monkey. It would.
Well, sure, that too. But I mean, for the whole Democratic process, the Democrats' process.
Yes, that would throw a big wrench into just about everybody's day. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. That was just something that popped in my head. So Biden is the front runner because Chris thinks so.
Well, he bases it on data, Monkey.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Let's hear this.
He says, start with the polling. A new Quinnipiac University national poll released Wednesday afternoon put Biden at 49% to Trump's 41%. That's broadly consistent with the Real Clear Politics average of all general election matchups between the two. RCP shows Biden with an average of a 6-point lead over Sanders. Wait. That's irrelevant now. That's what it reads. That's irrelevant now. What does that got to do with anything now that Sanders is out?
Sanders just dropped out.
Unless you're assuming that everything Sanders has is now Joe's, which is not the case in any way, shape, or form. Sanders support. We'll get to that later. And then he puts in italics even. Ooh, this must be important. But the presidential election isn't a national popular vote, you will say. And remember what happened in 2016, you will note. Yeah, yep. Chris, maybe you should think about that, given your history with such things. True, Chris says, but neutral political handicappers also give Biden a small but discernible edge over Trump in the race to 270 electoral votes. Okay.
Which neutral?
Well, let's see. As the Cook Political Report's Amy Walter wrote in late March, before Sanders dropped out, okay, quote, Biden starts with a slight lead in the Electoral College math. Right now, 232 electoral votes sit in lean/likely or solid Democrat. On the GOP side, 204 electoral votes are in the lean, likely, solid Republican column. There are 6 states and 1 congressional district in toss-up: Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nebraska's 2nd district. Those add up to 102 electoral votes, unquote. Okay. Around that same time, Stu Rothenberg, founder of the Rothenberg Political Report, which I've never heard of before, concluded much the same thing as he wrote, quote, the president is an underdog now in his bid for a 2nd term. That doesn't mean he can't win. Well, he sounds like you, Chris. It simply means that he is in a more difficult place than he was before, in part because Democrats have united behind a consensus candidate who has potentially broad appeal, unquote.
Which Democrats?
Potentially broad? Okay, I could potentially be sitting on the moon right now. I could potentially be president of the United States myself. Doesn't mean I actually am or will be. So potentially brought at this late state of the election, the campaign, he has potentially brought appeal. Really? Okay. Moving on. As Rothenberg rightly notes, things change. Did you guys know that?
I was
Did you guys know
unaware.
that things can change?
Nah.
Did you know that the future's not set? Our fate is what we make.
That's news to me, bro.
Yeah.
Real quick, Devil Fruit Zero, thank you. Hi, all. Is that a Gilligan's Island background? Well, it's just a bamboo hut that I made.
Yes. Monkey has discovered the wonders of using backgrounds on StreamYards. He hasn't discovered how to use overlays yet, though.
I've used both before. I just don't use them very often.
Oh, okay. Okay. As Rothenberg rightly notes, which nobody else could have done, things change. 4 years ago, polls and the Electoral College handicapping would have suggested Hillary Clinton was a clear favorite. And we know how that turned out. Yeah, don't we, Chris? Don't you know? I've still got the screenshot of your Hillary Clinton is a shoo-in editorials the day before the election. But that's in the fuzzy future, and we are very much in the present right now. What is that supposed to mean? The point. Here's his point, guys. If today is rightly understood as the first day of the 2020 general election, which it kind of isn't, but okay, then as of day one, Joe Biden is more likely to be elected president on November 3rd than Donald Trump. Period. End. Chris. Okay. That's I got nothing else. I don't think I need to add anything to that.
I'm going to. Chris, you throw out the only historical context you even bother to kind of talk about was 2016, and you just kind of wave it all aside.
Mm-hmm.
Trump comes into this with a big lead over anybody he's going to be running against as the incumbent. Typically, they get reelected. So there's that you have to contend with. You also have to contend with the fact that, one, Biden has been, I don't want to say this to sound conspiratorial or anything because I'm not meaning it that way, but Biden has been a beneficiary of coronavirus because his gaffe-prone ass, if that's what you believe it is, then he's the gaffiest gaffer of all gaffedom. It's not on the news every night. Instead, every night they're talking about corona. And Trump's in there and he's getting beaten up for some of the stuff he does. And rightfully so on some of it. But Biden has just been kind of in the wings. And as corona dies down and the race ramps up, he's going to have to be out there in front of the people. And if you paid attention to Biden over especially the last 3 months, I don't care what Cook says. He's going to get his ass handed to him unless something weird goes on with this election. Just my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, it's it's fascinating. Like the kind of setup that he started with. Like if you ignore, general consensus and the reality of the situation, and let's just say automatically that Biden is automatically a shoo-in, then this scenario works out in my favor. It's like, if you fucking create a scenario that works out to support the argument that you wanted to start with, then of course it works out in your favor. You dumbass.
Well, like I said on Monkey's show earlier, Trump could lose this. I mean, there's and I'll briefly reiterate what I said before. The crucial period, I think, right now for both Trump and Biden, honestly, is now until around mid-May, because most of the lockdowns, at least as currently scheduled in most states, are to end around the end of April or early in May. Now, those could be pushed back, certainly, but as of right now, just going off of that. So how this goes and how Trump handles the remainder of the lockdown, and especially whether or not his administration gets the money to the people on time, is going to be crucial for Trump's ability to claim some kind of victory going into the general election. But the other part of the equation that is necessary for anything like that, even if Trump fumbles everything, the other part that has to happen is Biden and his team have to start doing something high profile, something of a leadership capacity, something that makes him look like he's a presidential candidate and not just a guy sitting and waiting in a basement.
Real quick, Daryl, thank you so much. Could we have a Horace Greeley incident with Biden? Who's Horace Greeley?
Okay, my brain knows what that is abstractly, but rather
sounds
than
familiar, but I'm not placing it.
Rather than get it wrong, I'm going to look it up real quick and do it like this. Okay, Horace Greeley was an American newspaper editor and publisher who was the founder and editor of the New York Tribune, among the great newspapers of its time. Long active in politics, he briefly served as a congressman from New York and was the unsuccessful candidate of the new Liberal Republican Party in the 1872 presidential election against incumbent President Ulysses S. Grant, who won by a landslide. I'm not sure what his relevancy is here. Here we go. Greeley was the new Liberal Republican Party's presidential nominee in 1872. He lost in a landslide despite having the additional support of the Democratic Party. He was devastated by the death of his wife 5 days before the election and died himself 1 month later before the Electoral College had met. Okay, so, like Monkey just made a joke earlier. We were talking about like Biden potentially, passing away before we get to the election. Is that the implication there?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I who knows? I as a human being, I hope not. I mean, just as a human. Now, politically speaking, it's irrelevant next to just someone's life. But I'm not thinking about that right now in the calculus of things. I'm thinking about the nature and quality of Biden as a candidate right now, which is pretty poor. I mean, he might have the Democratic Party behind him. He might have no competitors now, but it's all on him now. He has no cover. He doesn't have anything other than himself to promote in the time he's got here. And right now, as much as Corona's on the news all the time, so's Trump, and not Biden. So,
also, we have to look at the fact that not only are the Republicans and Trump going to be attacking Biden, but he's also going to be getting attacked from the other side of his own, supposedly support group, because people are already starting now. So he's going to have to battle all the shit that people are saying about him from the left and all the shit that people are coming up with on the right. So he got a fucking uphill battle.
Well, here's the thing, and this is if someone hasn't already. Whoa, holy cats! I'll wait.
John Harrell, thank you so much for the very generous donation. No message, but that is very, very kind of you. Thank you so much.
That's really nice.
That is very, very kind.
What I was going to say is that the other part of this that doesn't involve Trump directly is that now that Bernie's dropped out, it's not some kind of guarantee that those voters are now going to go for Biden. I mean, most of them, a good portion of them, have said in polls and interviews that if Bernie dropped out, they'd either do one of two things: not vote or vote for Trump rather than vote for the corporate candidate. Yeah. So if Biden wants to have, so even though Bernie's out, he could still end up being a Ross Perot for Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. Joe Biden has to do something, and very soon and very high profile, to try to win them back. And the only thing I can think of, which he will never do, or I should say the chances of him doing it are next to nothing, is to say, I am for single payer. I am for Medicare for all. I will push that if I become president. If he did that, that might be the saving grace. I can't think of any other issue that he could throw out there as bait for the Bernie voters except that right now.
Over on the Streamlabs, thank you, James Colley, who says, Ranting Monkey eating a banana has more appeal than Biden. Hashtag Joe over here. Thank you so very much. And yeah, James, it did not give me a notice that you had done that. So thank you for letting me know in chat that you had. I don't know what's wrong with Streamlabs today. Anyhow, I suppose if you're just looking at the polls, Chrissy Chris, then sure, you can call Biden the front runner, but don't expect that to last.
All right. Well, the next somewhat related story I have is an opinion piece by someone named Joshua Spivak, who is a senior fellow at the Hugh L. Carey Institute for Government Reform at Warner College, whatever that is. And he says, now that Sanders is out, Dems should cancel the convention.
There's more to a convention than just picking the candidate.
Well, let's see what his argument is. With the coronavirus still wreaking havoc across the country, the Democrats have made the difficult decision to delay the party convention until August. But with Bernie Sanders' decision to suspend his campaign on Wednesday and presumptive Democratic nominee former Vice President Joe Biden noting that a virtual convention may be required, a live in-person convention is no longer necessary. Okay. Some party leaders have suggested this is a potential major missed opportunity, but their argument may be flawed. While once providing the most exciting moments in politics, conventions have become a boring, widely ignored event. Well, it depends on the excitement behind the candidate in question, doesn't it?
Who wrote this shit?
This is Joshua Spivak.
All right.
He's a senior fellow at a institute thing. I don't know. And if Democrats are strategic about it, canceling a convention could prove to be a strong talking point for the party. Okay, I'm curious to know that logic. Conventions used to be where journalist H.L. Mencken said, quote, one lives a gorgeous year in an hour, unquote, as a presidential contender's hopes could rise out of seemingly nowhere, like Ohio Governor Warren Harding at the Republican convention in 1920, who was in sixth place after the first ballot, but thanks to several smoke-filled room negotiations, won on the 10th ballot. Joshua, it doesn't operate like that anymore. Short of a brokered convention, it doesn't operate like that anymore.
Terry Diamandis, thank you so much. Why does everyone blame China for the virus? She's been dead for 4 years.
Oh.
She's the first zombie, that's why.
Oh, and she played She-Hulk in a porno.
That's funny.
Yeah. Let's see. Or conventions could mark the end of a candidate's presidential dreams, like Ohio Senator Robert Taft in 1940.
All of these are from before the... Never mind. I'm biting my tongue.
Okay. I'm skipping that part because that's a completely irrelevant anecdote. But no convention has made it past a first ballot since 1952. Meaning that the horse trading for the nomination that marked past conventions has stopped. Okay, so So the point he's making, I'm assuming here, is that since the horse trading no longer is a factor, the convention has little purpose.
Well, real quick, Cody Fry, thank you so much. Biden might have a chance of winning if Trump suddenly keels over and dies. I think he might actually have a worse chance against Pence right now. But the party fundamentally changed the way they do their picking. Back then, when he's talking about, I mean, it was basically the party picking it. It wasn't what we see now with the primaries. Those came a little bit later, about the time he starts talking about there in 52. And it was actually, after 68 that they went full-blown with what they're doing now? If my memory's correct, somebody can correct me on the exact dates. But there's a reason. I mean, it changed. But that doesn't mean the convention itself is irrelevant anymore. Barack Obama became a thing because of the convention. You have guys who get up there and they become your political leaders of the next generation. You also have, for those of you who don't know, it's not just what you see out there on the nightly news or when we were kids stuck on the channels because it was on everything. But this is also where they nail down what their actual platform is, and they have discussion. Fucking
Well,
kids.
I mean, oh, sorry.
See, this guy's what, 10?
Who? Joshua
The guy who
Spivak?
wrote it.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, he looks like he's in his, I don't know, late 30s, early 40s, somewhere in there. I can't tell.
Kids.
Well, I was going to say is that, yeah, if the Democratic convention this year becomes nothing more than a glorified conference call, it's going to do the party overall damage. Because you need those sound bites, you need that pageantry, you need something that kind of gets people excited and lets people know what's going on, and rallies people to your side, etc. And depending on who's speaking, yeah, you could have a Barack Obama moment, either for the candidate in question or like you say, the next generation. You don't have to. There's no law, but. Yeah, canceling the convention, the physical one with cameras and everything else. I can see, pragmatically speaking, depending on the circumstances, how it might be the wise thing to do. But not having some kind of televised event, even if you have just the delegates and you kind of cram them in a room to make it seem a little bit more fun or something. Yeah, the Democrats will be losing out on a big PR moment if they don't.
James Colley over on the Streamlabs. Thank you so much. China as a lawyer. That is funny.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, I was having, I don't know why Streamlabs wasn't letting me know. I refreshed it. That one came through. So we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. If I do miss one, please let me know. Yeah, you also have the problem of, with the Bernie thing coming up, and them thinking that the party screwed him. If you start taking this behind paywalls and stuff on online only kind of thing, or even just only the party officials get to be part of it, you're opening yourself up to all kinds of, why are you hiding stuff?
Yeah.
But
can you imagine if like the entire thing was online? And I'm not promoting this. I'm just saying this is a reality of our world. If the entire conference call was online, the immediacy of someone being able to bluff their way or hack their way into the call.
Sure.
Oh man. Oh, and if somebody got in there to hijack that and did a whole like Baba Booey thing in the middle of it, that'd be epic. And it would also be egg all over the Democrats' face. Before we get to the bottom of the hour, I wanted to at least get this story in, because this is tentatively positive news in regards to coronavirus.
Cool.
Okay. And strangely enough, it was CNN's top story there. It might still be, but it was at the time that I pulled it up. U.S. coronavirus deaths pass 14,000, but new cases are trending down and future projections are better than expected. Now, given that the expected was 100,000 to 240,000, I don't know if that's saying much, but let's see what they say. Even as the total number of deaths reported each day remains at its highest levels, the number of new coronavirus cases in the United States is trending down, according to a major university that tracks figures worldwide. Yeah, we got to take on faith some of those numbers from other countries, but all the same. Johns Hopkins University changed the trending status for the United States to down on Tuesday night because of changes in the 5-day moving average of new cases. The data could change as more cases are reported. More than 429,000 people in the U.S. have been infected, and more than 14,600 have died. A record 1,858 deaths were reported in just one day, Tuesday, according to Johns Hopkins. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo told reporters Wednesday that there were 779 coronavirus-related deaths across the state Tuesday. It was the highest number of deaths reported in one day by New York officials. Researchers say the peak has yet to come. The U.S. will reach its highest daily number of deaths on or around Sunday, according to modeling by the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation at the University of Washington in Seattle. The projections also suggest the U.S. will reach its peak use of resources, such as hospital beds and ventilators, on or around Saturday. But there's a bit of good news. The modeling shows fewer people will die from coronavirus than previously predicted. On Tuesday, the IHME, which is the Health Metrics and Evaluation, estimated about 82,000 people will die from coronavirus disease by August. On Wednesday, that estimate was lowered to 60,415. So within one day, it would drop 20,000. I'm happy about that. White House coronavirus response coordinator Dr. Deborah Burks said at a White House news conference that models are based on what Americans are doing. Quote, "What has been so remarkable, I think, to those of us that have been in the science field for so long is how important behavioral change is and how amazing Americans are at adapting to and following through on these behavioral changes. That's what's changing the rate of new cases, and that's what will change the rate of mortality going forward," unquote. So it is a kind of silver lining thus far, which is good, and I'm glad to report.
Oh, there you go. It's good news.
And it should also be pointed out that those the 100,000 and all that even at the time they said was probably a little high. They were going with some worst case estimates there.
Yeah.
But getting it down even further is a good thing.
Yeah, we talked about that last night on the show where they were talking about how, how did Trump arrive at these 100,000, 240,000 numbers predictions? And we still don't understand how he arrived at those. And then later in the article, about 2 paragraphs down, like, part of the calculus comes that from they predicted only 50% of people would actually follow the guidelines, but we know that 90% of people are. Like, so if you're asking where the numbers came from, why are you telling us where the numbers came from?
James Colley, thank you. Corona Chan, no like Easter. Corona Chan, asshole. Thank you for the donation.
Anyway, that's all the news fit to print, unless you wanted to go somewhat at length about Linda Tripp, but otherwise.
Let's see if she shows up in the MSS News. Could you please tonight?
Okay.
My friend, thank you so very much.
Aren't you guys happy that we're allowed to talk about good news now?
It's nice once in a while.
Like somebody gave the fucking flag. They're like, okay, that's enough gloom and doom. We're gonna roll back on the doomsday shit and start talking about stuff good now. Like, okay, thanks media. I appreciate it.
Okay, well, guys, it's MSS News time. So if you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise to get to them all, but that's because Monkey has burdened it with me with it tonight, other than him, because he can't read.
I can barely hold my head up, dude.
Okay. Well, let's talk about brainwaves then. This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Machine translates brainwaves into sentences. Now,
Cool.
if that isn't a scary sci-fi thought, scientists have taken a step forward in their ability to decode what a person is saying just by looking at their brainwaves when they speak. Okay. They trained algorithms to transfer the brain patterns into sentences in real time and with word error rates as low as 3%.
Oh.
Whoa.
Fucking predictive text ain't even that good.
I know, right?
Real quick, thank you, Professor Chaos. Do we have permission to talk about the economy?
When haven't we been?
Well, I think they're talking about the media.
Oh, well, I hear about the economy all the time on the media lately, so I don't know.
They seem rather obsessed with it.
Yeah, the stock market and so on. Previously, these so-called brain-machine interfaces have had limited success in decoding neural activity. The earlier efforts in this area were only able to decode fragments of spoken words or a small percentage of the words contained in particular phrases. Machine learning specialist Dr. Joseph Macon from the University of California and colleagues tried to improve the accuracy. 4 volunteers read sentences aloud while electrodes recorded their brain activity. The brain activity was fed into a computing system, which created a representation of regularly occurring features in that data. Okay, before I read any further, the next thing they have to do is hook this up to somebody while they're dreaming. Because I'd be fascinated to know what, if anything, comes out of that.
Probably just people screaming all night long.
They're not going to hook it up to you, Monkey. To people.
Oh.
Yeah. To people, people. Let's see. These patterns are likely to be related to repeated features of speech such as vowels, consonants, or commands to parts of the mouth. Another part of the system decoded this representation word by word to form sentences. However, the authors freely admit the study's caveats. For example, the speech to be decoded was limited to 30 to 50 sentences. That's still not bad. Quote, although we should like the decoder to learn and exploit the regularities of the language, it remains to show, is this being translated? How many data would be required to expand from our tiny languages to a more general form of English, unquote, the researchers wrote in their Nature Neuroscience paper. Okay. Yeah, I want to hook up to somebody who's streaming and see what comes out of that. That would be very until the end of the world right there.
How do they know what language it's in?
Well, I presume they know the language the person is speaking that they're testing it on, and then they relate one to the other with the brain patterns.
Thank you to the person who just subscribed. I am not saying that word, though.
Okay. Let's see. This one comes from Frosted Glass. And my phone's beeping off in the other room. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry.
Oh.
Oh.
Let me see if I can get this pulled up here. Whew, man, it's just so tired.
We
are
are
a new head, man.
the most professional streamers.
Look, man, I got a big head, and when it becomes a problem holding it up, it becomes a real problem holding it up. All right. So let's see. He did the brain scan one. Let's see. That's another one from him. From Frosted.
All right. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Frosted Glass. This is a Medium article, of course. Oh, and one of my favorite people is mentioned in this. And I say that facetiously. Quit acting like being called a racist is worse than actual racism.
Who said it was?
I don't know. As Robin DiAngelo explained, the sneaky adaptation of racism over time is the idea that racism is a conscious bias held by mean people.
It is.
No, monkey. It's an innate subconscious reflex of being white. Because white people are not racially literate. This Robin DiAngelo has told me this. A development in the unending discussion about race is a belief created by white people that being held accountable for your words is oppression. Because of this, attempts to educate quote-unquote unintentional racists on racial biases they have displayed are famously met with automatic defensiveness and argument, often citing a token black friend. This refusal to listen or learn further grounds them in their ignorance, leaving the racist with the belief that they have been attacked for no reason.
Look, my black friend said I don't have to listen to this shit.
Yeah, I'm not making this up, guys, if you don't already know. So Robin DiAngelo's book, White Fragility, and I am slightly paraphrasing, but basically it says that white fragility is exemplified thus wise. Let's say someone calls me a racist, okay? Now, it doesn't matter the context. I'm white, and they call me a racist, or suggest that I maybe have racial overtones or undertones of whatever I'm doing. If I get defensive, that's white fragility. If I remain silent, that's white fragility. If I leave the conversation, that's white fragility. So, in fact, there is no reaction I am allowed to have except absolute and total agreement subservience, but I'd still probably be fragilely white because, I'm white. And still
a bunch of goddamn nonsense is what it is.
It is very, very profitable nonsense, though.
Oh,
very profitable. I'll just read another couple paragraphs, then we'll move on. The racist, talking about this like it's a scientific paper or something, like like observing, I don't know, like peacocks in the wild or something. The racist expects their explanations as to why they're not racist to be accepted immediately and without question, because What more do you want from them? Any insistence on your part, any further request for self-reflection, anything other than a grateful curtsy from you after their denial is now seen as you being difficult, confrontational, and attacking.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They were just talking about something being accepted without question and without any pushback. But if we call you a racist, we expect you to not question it or have any pushback whatsoever.
Yes.
Right.
So projection the article.
Yeah. You become last paragraph I'll read. You become a target for the racist's anger and tears, and you are the bad guy for daring to tell them that they are perpetuating attitudes that have been used to oppress Black people for centuries. Now their afternoon is ruined, and their cozy blanket of racial comfort has been snatched away, and they're out here in the cold with you.
The correct me if I'm wrong. The thesis, the title of this article, was telling people to stop acting like being called a racist is as bad as being racist. Is that what it was?
Quit acting like being called a racist is worse than actual racism.
Okay. One, nobody said that. Sometimes when you're doing it, though, like, for instance, when you suggest all white people are racist, you are, in fact, being racist.
What?
And that's not white fragility to point it out. That's just reality. Sorry, sweetheart. I realize your tiny girl brain can't wrap your thinkings around all that, but yeah, sorry.
Now that's called sexism, guys.
It's absolutely sexism, but it doesn't make it wrong.
All right. Moving on from that brilliance. And you guys, if you want to know more about Robin DiAngelo and her brilliance, I've got a couple of videos on my channel about her. So you can look it up, or I'll post the links at some point if you want me to. Okay, this one comes from Jedi Ghost Bear. It involves an astronaut.
No.
I don't even know what. Okay, I know I'm going to get shit for this. I know I've seen this name of this town before. Wife of Spokane astronaut. Spokane, is that it? Anyway, Spokane. Spokane. Wife of Spokane astronaut indicted for lying about space crime.
What?
I don't know. The estranged wife of Spokane astronaut Anne McLean.
Oh, these people.
Oh, wait, maybe this is starting to ring a bell. Okay. Has been charged in federal court with lying about McLean accessing the woman's bank account from space. Oh. Summer Warden was indicted in the Southern District of Texas with 2 counts of making false statements to authorities. She's described in the indictment as a fugitive. According to a news release from the Department of Justice, Warden made false statements to NASA and the Federal Trade Commission. She accused McLean with improperly accessing her account while McLean was at the International Space Station. Media outlets reported it as a space crime. I'm remembering some of this now. Warden filed a complaint with the FTC saying she opened a new account in 2018 and reset her login so that McLean could not access it. But the indictment says Warden opened the account earlier than she reported and did not change her login credentials until the following January. Okay. If convicted, Warden faces up to 5 years in prison on each count and a possible $250,000 maximum fine. A warrant was issued for her arrest February 27th, and she's expected in court next week. In late March, the government withdrew the arrest warrant and issued a summons instead. Federal prosecutors cited the coronavirus outbreak and the potential danger of arresting and transporting Warden because of the virus. That would be a crazy amount of... I mean, what harm was done again? Like, I mean, I understand lying to the authorities, but that's a major... Holy shit.
Well, I'm very curious because I didn't hear anything in there that the girl didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that the lady had opened her account earlier and didn't change the login till after.
Mm-hmm.
But did they actually find that the chick on the space station hadn't done it?
The article didn't really clarify that part.
It didn't.
Yeah, I didn't hear that either.
So I'm really curious about that. All right.
I guess it's assumed.
Okay, which one of these do I want to do? Can't really do that one. Okay, well, this one. This one comes from Shrouded Angel. I'm just going to assume this is true. This wasn't just said for the sake of humor. I pretend my husband's... God damn it. I'm going to read this. I pretend my husband's farts are my phone vibrating to stay sane during lockdown.
What?
A woman has created an Instagram account, if you can believe it, to share some of the funniest and brutally honest reasons couples have been arguing during the coronavirus lockdown. Being stuck in lockdown with your other half might have seemed like fun and games at the beginning, but now many are bickering over the smallest things and, in all honesty, have just about had enough. Yeah, that doesn't happen after lockdowns or with the absence of lockdowns. You know. If you're feeling this way, know that you're definitely not alone, as one Instagram account is highlighting just how many are struggling.
I was muted there, and I was trying to say that, yeah, getting locked down with your spouse, you need time away. You really do. I'm surprised that divorce lawyers aren't like just rolling in it right now.
Oh, wait until the lockdown's over with, dude. Just wait. During the coronavirus lockdown, a woman named Meg Zukin, Z-U-K-I-N, has been collecting and sharing some of the funniest and most heartbreaking reasons couples have been arguing on Instagram. The writer and social media editor... What? Wait. If I write a tweet, see an error, delete it, and write a correction tweet, am I a social media editor now?
Yes.
Yes.
I have no idea.
What is a social... honestly, guys, I'm not even kidding. I have no idea what a social media editor is as a job or as a point on your work history. Okay, anyway. She created the account after being inundated with messages on Twitter when she asked for submissions. Oh, imagine that. You're reproducing other people's work. And okay. She's named the whole thing the Social Distance Project. And because it's proving so popular with people, she's using the project to raise vital funds to help those affected by coronavirus. Okay, well, as long as it's not for her. I'll just read this one that they've posted. March 15th, 2020. The title is, It Doesn't Look Like You're Working. Literally this AM, my boyfriend, my BF, asked me to make him a bagel, and I told him, no, I'm working, and he actually looked up at me and said, it doesn't look like you're working. It looks like you're staring out the window.
Officer Buck, thank you. A lot of babies and divorces coming after lockdown, probably.
One more, 3/30/2020. Can you feel the love tonight? Been asking my partner to move in for months now, and all it took was worldwide quarantine for him to finally commit. Love is in the air.
With that first person, did she say if she was actually working? Was she just staring out the window?
No, that's it. It's just that's the tweet, effectively.
That bitch was staring out the window. Pincalo, thank you. Social media editor equals Wikipedia contributor.
Oh, that's possible too.
Perhaps.
All right. Jack the motherfucking Cockring brings us this one that we mentioned earlier. Linda Tripp, key figure in Clinton impeachment, dies. Linda Tripp, the former White House and Pentagon employee whose secret audio tapes of Monica Lewinsky led to the 1998 impeachment of President Bill Clinton, died on Wednesday. She was 70. Joseph Murtha, a former lawyer for Miss Tripp, confirmed the death. No other details were given. When Miss Lewinsky completed her testimony about the scandal, she was asked if she had any final comments. According to CNN, she answered, I hate Linda Tripp.
Yep.
Miss Tripp always contended that she had revealed Miss Lewinsky's private conversation of a sexual relationship with Mr. Clinton out of a, quote, patriotic duty. She had worked in the White House under President George H.W. Bush and stayed on to work briefly in the Clinton administration. She was transferred to the Pentagon and its public affairs office. Miss Lewinsky, who had been a White House intern, was transferred there too, and the women, despite a 24-year age difference, became friends. When Miss Lewinsky confided in Miss Tripp that she had had a physical relationship with the president, Miss Tripp got in touch with Lucien Goldberg, a literary agent who had once reached out to her for information on Vincent Foster, the White House lawyer who committed suicide in 1993, if you believe the story. More recently, Miss Tripp had been working on a book proposal tentatively titled Behind Closed Doors, What I Saw Inside the Clinton White House. Okay.
Nowhere says Clinton won't let COVID have a higher body count.
Yeah. Linda Tripp betrayed her friend's confidence to cash in.
She really did.
There was no patriotic duty. She wasn't doing something noble. She was just doing it for herself. And anybody who listened to all that stuff knew that's what it was. And anything she said about it was an absolute lie. Doesn't mean that it's good that she died. I didn't hate her or something, but it was just bullshit then, and it's still bullshit.
Yeah, it's only notable that she passed because she was such a figure in that. But yeah, what happened there is she betrayed a friend's trust. She secretly recorded Monica and then passed the tapes out to the press to help write her book. Ugly chapter in American history there, but sometimes the president needs a blowjob.
Let's see. We kind of talked about that.
Linda smelled the story from the start. What I bet should have cleaned that dress, to be honest. It's probably stinking up her whole apartment, making all her clothes smell like Clinton spooge.
This is a story that doesn't have a preview, so I don't know what it is. Let me see what it is first, if it'll come up. It's not coming up, so I don't know.
Wait, hang on. Shroom says, so reporting that the chief executive was sleeping with an intern in those days of CEOs getting busted for doing the same thing was wrong. Betraying her friend's trust was wrong. Whether you think she was right to out Clinton for it is not even close to what we were talking about there.
Yeah, that's a separate issue. But she wasn't. Her claim that she had some kind of noble duty or something was bullshit. Rather than contacting her superiors first, she contacted a literary agent and then recorded her friend. So,
Serenity said Monica probably wanted to sell it. Why else save the dress? Monica claims that she didn't realize that was what was on the dress, and this is the most disturbing part of that whole saga. She claims she thought it was spinach dip. I don't know what's in that man's sample.
I remember that.
But,
this one comes from Jim Heelis. Boy, Paris sucks now. Coronavirus. Paris bans daytime outdoor exercise. Authorities in Paris have banned exercise outside during the day as deaths from coronavirus continue to rise in France daily. The new rules enforce between 10 a.m. and 1000 and 1900 local time and come into effect on Wednesday. The death toll in France has risen above 10,000, the fourth highest figure after Italy, Spain, and the U.S. If you're counting actual coronavirus deaths and not just people who have coronavirus when they die, which is something that Italy's already admitted that they're doing. Doesn't make deaths any better or something, but anyway.
Yeah, we have a reporting problem with this whole thing.
Yeah, country to country, they have different standards as to what counts as a coronavirus death. If I die of a heart attack, but they test me and they find I had coronavirus, they count it as a coronavirus death, even though my death had nothing to do with coronavirus.
Yep.
Yeah. And on all the times now they've said, oh, this teenager died of it, except they didn't, or this baby died of it, except they didn't, etc. Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo and the chief of police said the new jogging rules would make people exercise, quote, when the streets are generally at their quietest, unquote. I mean, it's not quite martial law, but you're not allowed to leave your house until we tell you to. It's kind of a reverse curfew, sort of. Actually, it is curfew, but Anyway, how many more do you want me to do, Monkey?
Let's just one more.
Let's see. That's a video. Okay, we'll do this one from Renegade 1971. It was a very good year, I'm told, because I wasn't alive. Owner arrested after ultra rare Gembala Mirage GT goes on a wrecking spree in Manhattan. I'll put the link in the chat because I'm assuming, and I don't think I'm wrong, that is probably a very, 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 very expensive car.
Just the name of it sounds expensive.
One Porsche owner, or Porsche owner, depending on how you want to say it, is having a morning they'd likely wish to forget. A driver of a Gembala, or Gembala, I don't know how to say it, Mirage GT, an ultra-rare, highly modified version of the already rare Carrera GT, wrecked into a handful of cars in Midtown Manhattan Tuesday morning. The damage isn't pretty, judging by these pictures shared by Instagram user Ronnie CNYC. The owner of the car, Benjamin Chen, was arrested following the series of crashes around 7:30 a.m. Tuesday. Police said the car was not stolen, but was being operated by Chen when the incident occurred. He's been charged with operating a motor vehicle while impaired by drugs and reckless driving.
Oof.
Are they going to tell us how much that car cost? Somewhere.
It's a few $100,000 at least.
They don't say the price in here. That's amazing. Chen, who goes by BC on Instagram, owns an extensive collection of exotics. According to a Carfax report, the formerly gray Carrera GT has had 3 owners, the most recent of which bought the car in 2014. That timing jibes with an interview.
I'm sorry, I looked up the price.
How much?
Around $780,000.
Yikes.
Well, this guy has a collection of exotics, which means I'm guessing he has money to burn.
Explains why he had access to so many drugs.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
A $700,000 car totaled, destroyed by a drugged up rich boy.
$750,000 just gone.
Yeah, and also, I mean, setting that aside, putting who knows how many other people's lives at risk just by being an idiot, including his own.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad nobody got hurt in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, your insurance ain't gonna cover that shit, motherfucker. You just lost $750,000.
Yeah, but if he's, like I say, he's got a collection of exotic cars, he probably doesn't give a shit. Or his parents don't give a shit.
Sure. Wow. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much for the submissions. We got to move on. Satsu, it's YouTube time. What you did today?
I uploaded a chicken to van video.
You did, but you didn't use my mom's recipe, so I hate you forever.
I specifically told you that I wasn't.
I don't care. It's blasphemy.
It was pretty damn good, though.
Yeah.
So that video got uploaded. What else did I do today? Oh, I did some voice work on like 2 other videos since I finally got a chance to. I found out that Green Hell is finally co-op compatible. Yes. Played around on there a little bit. It's kind of weird because I play with the controller. It has controller support now. There doesn't seem to be a way to chat with other people when you're playing with the controller, or at least I don't know how to do it. I pressed every button on that fucking thing, and I just can't seem to figure it out. So, from what it looks like now, if you play with controller, you just can't communicate with others unless you guys are in like a chat party or something like that. So that's a little weird, but I'm sure they'll probably address it or whatever. From what I've seen, like I've hopped into people's games randomly, and they had nice little camps built up or whatever. So I don't know how long these people have been playing or any of that stuff, but I think it'll be fun. I'm just curious as to what the goal is other than just surviving, you know? So me and Monkey are thinking about playing it on Friday just to kind of, poke our heads around and see what's going on there. And it'd be nice if you could go through the story together. Like, that'd be cool. But if it's just flat out survival, I don't know how much mileage we'll be able to get out of it unless you guys are just really interested in us getting bit by snakes and spiders and dying every time, because that's pretty much what happens. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But that's it for me, for YouTube too.
Thank you, Officer Buck, who says NMS drivable mech update is live. Squee.
Oh yeah, the mechs in No Man's Sky. They look pretty cool, man. I was checking that out. They're putting everything in that damn game.
Yeah, they are. All right, and that's all you had there?
Yep.
Scribbles, what you been working on?
I did well, aside from appearing on your show briefly today, I did a TED Excellence stream, wherein a reminiscent of the article we just read a few minutes ago with Robin DiAngelo, was a white man telling everybody the problem with white people. And if you didn't know, it has to do with the fact that white people are all racist. That 600 years ago, a Portuguese man invented racism, but it's all white people's fault because I guess Portuguese people are technically white. I don't know. I don't know what the standard is now because it seems to change day by day. Yeah, racism's bad, guys. But this guy who's also white, by the way, really hates that he's white and has to keep apologizing for it. That's what TEDx taught me today. Yeah. But the fun thing though is that like halfway through the stream, I started roboting. Now, of course, I can't tell that I'm roboting when I'm by myself on there, and so chat started going nuts, like, "Oh my God, RoboScribe!" RoboScribe was like, "Oh no, please don't tell me I have to end it here because they can't hear me." And then apparently, like, it passed or whatever, and so everything was fine. I was like, And then it wasn't until after I ended the stream that I realized I'd left Steam on, and there was some kind of like automatic update download in the middle of everything. And that may have done it. I don't know if that's actually what happened, but I don't have any other explanation as to why I suddenly, didn't have or had the roboting or whatever. So anyway, that's all I got. I will probably do another TEDx tomorrow, but we'll see.
In chat, BG said, there's a goal in those types of games. Some of them, The Forest had a goal. 7 Days to Die, not so much. It's just to survive, where in The Forest, you got to go find, was it Timmy?
Yeah.
Got to go find what happened to little Timmy.
And
once you do, the game ends. So, oh God, let's see. I did a monkey in the morning. I don't remember it, guys. I really don't. But then after another brief nap in there, I woke up and saw Bernie Sanders had dropped out. So I had to go live and talk about that, where Scribbles was kind enough to join me for a while. And I talked about all kinds of things, including the fact that I think right now Trump does have the advantage, but don't count Biden out in this, guys. Don't make that mistake. He could be your president here in a year. Just saying. Anyhow, that brings us on to the humpetry. And Satsu, you got some humpetry today?
Yeah, I saw a lot of videos of people screaming because of Biden losing. Not Biden losing, because of Bernie driving out. What am I talking about? Which some were hilarious and others were just like, that person needs help. Somebody please rescue this individual before they do something insane. I don't know what's wrong with people. Like, they have to know it's a meme by now, right? Like, this has been going on for quite some time. I don't know how this is still happening. And let me see. I shared a tweet earlier. Let me see where I can find it. God damn it! I just had it up too. Don't say nothing about that. Why is it not coming up? I got it. Let me go back to my page then. I'll just go back to my page and find it there. All right. Somebody said, friendly reminder to Biden supporters and hashtag blue no matter who folks. Give Bernie supporters time to grieve. Mm-hmm. We are still 7 months out from the general, and I promise that allowing people time and space to process these complex feelings is better for all of us.
Oh, God.
November. And I'm just like, people.
I did talk about this briefly on my stream at the beginning because I I felt for half a second just a little bit bad because I was enjoying the pain of Bernie supporters. And then I remembered they were supporting a commie, so fuck them. Grow up and stop asking the government to be your mommy and daddy, and maybe then you won't be that upset about your little candidate losing when you already knew he was going to. Stop it.
Mm-hmm. God damn, there was something else I was about to mention, but Squishy came in here and showed me her butt, so distracted. I'm not even joking. Like, that literally just snatched the fucking thought right out of my head. What the hell?
Don't tell them.
Too late.
It's too late. You've been snitched on.
My virgin reputation.
I think that died when your water broke. Oh.
That is hilarious. God damn, I completely. All right, well, I can't remember.
You're so useful right now, Satsu. Gosh,
I can't remember what the other thing was. God damn it. What? Oh my god, get out of here. You the reason why I'm distracted. Never mind. I'll figure it out later. Once I find it.
All right.
Freaking fucking tree is.
Fair enough. Scribbles, you got anything?
well, the one major one I've got is a mistake I made on your stream earlier today, Monkey. I was talking about Biden. For whatever reason, my brain said that Biden. I made the suggestion that if Biden really wanted to get some traction, he should start doing something locally in order to show that he's a leader and get in touch with all of the local politicians and decision makers and such, who he has to know after all these years of being in politics, and look like somebody who's trying to show off a local community-based leadership example in this time of crisis, to sort of, promote the idea that he could actually do something if he was president. Except that for whatever reason, my brain thought that Biden represented Pennsylvania. And I said Pennsylvania.
Delaware.
And it's Delaware. And I don't know why my brain said that at the time, but that's what I said. And so, I screwed up there. And so I admitted it on Twitter. It's like, well, I made that boo-boo. So anybody who heard that, I realized after the fact that, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
How dare you?
I know. I said...
forget anything, ever.
I said, that moment when you realize you said Biden should be leading his constituents in Pennsylvania rather than Delaware, which is where he actually served from. Well, this is the kind of mistake that truly qualifies me to work at CNN.
Or run for president.
Other than that, I don't think I have much, honestly, because everything else we've kind of already talked about. Oh, wait, there's this. That's one thing. Chris Saliza tweeted this out today. Donald Trump suggests he might have been right about Easter because the number of coronavirus cases and deaths will be dropping by then. And yes, he is absolutely obsessed with the idea that he was right about everything, always. And I said, unlike CNN or Chris Saliza, who are paragons of admitting when they get something wrong or make the wrong call. Cue CNN's Michael Avenatti montage. Cue the smoking gun blogs from The Point about Russia collusion.
Maybe, and I'm just throwing this out there, the reason that he's so braggadocious about it when he's right is because you guys spend every waking minute telling him he's wrong.
Yep. He counts.
And it's one of those, haha, it's a razor fist. Fuck you, I was right.
Yep. That's it.
It's childish, but I'm not going to sit there and go, I wouldn't be doing the same fucking thing.
Imagine if chloroquine ends up being the actual treatment.
Oh, God. We'll never hear the end. He will be insufferable.
Not the cure, mind you. I'm not saying that, but he had an actual effective treatment for symptoms of it. Imagine if that ends up being the case. Oh, you'll never hear the end of it. And unfortunately, because of what the media's done, rightfully so.
Yep.
But I guess we'll find out as time goes on.
Okay. I found some fucking tree.
Wow. Okay.
There was a post that I saw over on Facebook that said Bernie Sanders says it's an awkward position, but he's still in the race for the Democratic nomination. This is after he dropped out.
Yeah.
And there was another post stating that he dropped, and some people were getting really upset about it. The exchange here is so freaking hilarious. These people arguing over the first comment is, fuck, I knew this was going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump was behind it.
Oh God.
Ah,
For real?
Yeah. And somebody said, don't be alarmed, but Trump had absolutely nothing to do with Trump dropping. And dude said, wow, sure sounds like you wanted him to win. And he was like, explain to me, please. Please explain to me how it sounds like I wanted Trump to win with that statement. I must know.
wow.
So the dude goes back like, well, I'm just saying, if you don't care about Trump winning, then why are you mad about this? He was like, when did I say I was mad about this? I literally stated that that's not the reason, and it isn't. That's it. I didn't say anything else. He was like, well, you sure sound like you're defending Trump right about now.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
Fucking shit.
Wow.
Oh my God. This is really funny. These people are going back and forth, and it is so hilarious. He said, dude said, I need to absolutely know. Are you being retarded now on purpose, or are you just fucking with me? He said, I'm not. I'm just asking. He said, the point is, the reason why Sanders dropped is because of the outbreak. Do not come at me with this fucking nonsense ever again.
Wow.
Oh my God, these people, like, that. And this ain't the first one I've seen of people just like, I knew Trump was gonna do something. And I'm like, what did he do? Like, how did he make Bernie lose? I guess the DNC just don't exist, huh? They ain't even real no more. This has been happening for 4 years, people. Like, where the fuck have you been?
Everything started with Trump, even the DNC.
Yeah. I'm like, so are you telling me that Trump is in control of the DNC? Because if that's what you're telling me, then we might have a whole nother conspiracy on our hands here. But
well, Trump is the DNC's biggest meal ticket. I'll give you that.
Oh, for sure. And that's why, I've been kind of carrying this conspiracy theory that they want Trump to win again. Like, they absolutely want Trump to win again. And like, dude, it's been fucking great since Trump's been in office. But that's just me. But anyway, that was the fucketry that I saw and instantaneously forgot because squishy.
All right. Scribe, did you have any more?
No, that was all I had.
Okay, let's see. We're gonna run out of humpetry tonight because I was not on the internet too much today.
That was always deep topic.
Yeah, I'll have to find one. Bill Mitchell keeps making an ass of himself. 16 hours ago, he posted this. The myth of social distancing. How often do you touch total strangers in daily life? Those you do touch are familial friends, and you touch them in cars, home anyway. So does social distancing make strangers you wouldn't touch anyway make the difference stopping COVID-19?
What?
He's suggesting since you don't actually touch strangers in public, that social distancing doesn't help. Because in Bill Mitchell's world, the only way to get COVID is apparently through touch.
Uh-huh.
He thinks it's like some finger-to-finger virus thing. No, dumbass. It's about even standing too close to one another, which, by the way, some of you motherfuckers do without this virus, and probably you're the reason it spread. If we're in line together, ain't no reason for me to feel your neck or your breath on my neck. Whoops, that almost came out wrong. No reason for me to feel your breath on my fucking neck. Step back. But that's what social distancing is. It's not that you're touching everybody all the time, you dumb shit. It's sneezing, coughing, that kind of stuff goes into the air. And there's about a 6-foot distance that this shit goes out that becomes a contagion zone, you asshat. I don't like people sometimes.
I don't most of the time.
Pincalo, thank you so much. It's about speaking moistly. Indeed. Excuse me. What was this? That's Linda Tripp dying. The other one, I saw this from Chris Saliz, and it's not something that I at least we didn't address on any of the shows I've been on, and I want to address it because there's a big push for mail-in voting.
Mm-hmm.
Mail-in voting. And several people have called Donald Trump a hypocrite, including a reporter, because he mailed in his vote in 2018. And he's going to be probably mailing in his vote again. And he was asked about it. And he said, yes, I voted by mail. And the reporter said, but how do you reconcile that? Trump said, because I'm allowed to. Well, that's called out of state. You know why I voted? Because I happen to be in the White House and I won't be able to go to Florida and vote. And Chris says, let's deal with the obvious hypocrisy first.
Oh, God.
Florida, where Trump voted early this year, is a no excuse absentee vote state, meaning that a voter can request an absentee ballot without offering any excuse for why they want to do so. Stop. Right there, Chris. You're a fucking liar. I can't believe you're this stupid, so I have to believe you're a liar. What this means is that Trump doesn't agree with that Florida law, not that he's a hypocrite, because he is actually out of state. And that's what those were originally intended for almost everywhere before some states started making them where you could get them at any time. States like California and Florida. He's not a hypocrite to say he did it and then he did so because he's out of state, you dumbass. But this has become the narrative on this whole situation. Oh, he's a hypocrite because he does it and he doesn't think other people should. Now, the reason I bring this up is I read an article. Was it this one? No. I read an article earlier that actually says, mail-in voting, it is a lot easier to cheat, and there is a lot more election fraud that way. But it's not really that much. but could that be because it's such a small percentage of voting? You want to open that up? I don't like the idea of voting by mail. I understand that sometimes it has to happen. Service members do that because they're overseas and they still have the right to vote when they're overseas. I think it should be reserved for situations like that. And I think it needs to be very controlled because as that article said, yeah, we found fraud in these cases. Cases where like one person wins the entire mail-in ballot. Not naming any names, Hillary, in an entire town. She got every single mailed-in vote. What do you think the odds are of that?
Yeah, that don't sound right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I read on, people, but it's going to disenfranchise people if they can't vote. Well, when people are cheating, it disenfranchises real voters too. And you should take them into account as well. It might suck. We're a little too far out because Elizabeth Warren, she's really pushing this right now. She wants a $4 billion plan. Democrats as a whole are kind of coming on with her plan. $4 billion to send to states to help them with vote-in campaigns. The election is not till November. Maybe, and I'm just throwing this out there, guys, we wait. Just hold off a little bit and see if it's actually necessary. See if, we can't let people go to the polls and be okay with it. Because we're talking quite a ways out by the time where most people think this is going to be dead anyway, this virus. There's some notion that it'll come back a little bit, but that was also with the notion that it was going to go away during the summer like a flu would. And now they're saying that's not going to happen. So potato, how about we just wait a little bit before we decide our democracy on an entirely insecure method of voting?
Well, it's their only chance. Or at least some of them feel like it's their only chance. Like, we can't win if we cheat, and we need to be able to fucking cheat, goddammit.
It's just asinine to me that there's so many things where we're ready to just change everything. Like we don't really need to change everything. If you want to talk about changing things that would help with Corona, learn to lock down the borders quicker. That would have helped. That's it. Anyhow, was there anything else that I saw? Not really much. Yeah. So unfortunately, that's all I had, which leaves us with 10 minutes for a deep topic.
Mhm.
I don't really have one. I'm out of my brain. So how about election predictions right now?
How about Cory Booker?
Probably not. Serious question.
Yeah.
Who wins the? And again, guys, this means nothing. We are far too far out for it to actually be meaningful.
Sure.
But just our guesses as of now: electoral college and popular vote winner. Scribbles.
Jeez. Again, depending on how Trump handles the next month or so, I think it's entirely possible you could have, once again, Biden gets the popular vote, but Trump ultimately ekes out the electoral college. I think that's entirely possible at this point.
Satsu?
I was thinking that too, but aren't there different states like doing different stuff now in regards to the electoral college and all that?
Not this year. That won't kick in until there's enough states for it to matter, and they don't have that yet.
Okay, because I was thinking like with that, then I don't know how it's going to go, but yeah, I'd probably agree with Scribe. It's probably going to be the case. Although with the amount of people just straight up saying they're voting green or just not at all, I don't know, man. I'm not sure.
Thank you, Cody Fry. Is that the hut in the background where you first discovered Satsu?
Oh.
No, that's where I live. That's the monkey hut.
Monkey hut.
I have to hang a sign, apparently.
Touch the monkey hut.
Satsu's a man. He don't live in a bamboo hut. He lives in Cleveland.
Which is like at least 2 steps up from a bamboo hut.
A city representation of a bamboo hut.
At this point, if I had to place money on it, I would actually put Trump to win both.
Really?
Yeah. It might be close. Biden, depending on who he picks for his VP, I really do think he might pick my governor. He needs Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, if Trump does get the popular vote, that is going to make that whole "we're only going to give our votes to the popular vote getter" thing in those states more hilarious than anything else.
Well, yeah, those again, that doesn't kick in until they have more states that agree to it.
Okay.
Doesn't take effect this year. They missed the deadline for that.
Okay.
But I think he could win them both unless Biden somehow manages to eke out something like Michigan.
Yeah.
What's the governor in Pennsylvania? Is that a man? I haven't looked.
God, I don't know.
There's a few states where Biden might be able to help himself. Michigan is one, and Michigan is probably the biggest of them that really cost Hillary. So please take Whitmer and Whitmer, please step down for the run. I just don't know. I think he can do it. The incumbency thing is the biggest thing going for me, and I think a lot of people, while the economy has tanked, as long as it can still be blamed on Corona and not on Trump himself,
yeah,
I think he'll get a benefit of the doubt for that. But this leads me to my other question, because I had a follow-up. Do you guys think, first of all, will there be debates? And if there are, do you think they'll change public opinion much, if at all?
I think there will be, and I think they will, because you can't not have those two get together. There would be too much on both sides saying we need to have this debate. Trump needs to be shown up, and or Biden needs to be shown that he's senile. I don't think either party is going to, and the American public is going to tolerate there not being some kind of pre-game competition between the two of them. And depending on the outcome of one or more of those debates, that could have a distinct effect on whether or not Biden's going to get enough votes.
Satsu, any thoughts?
On if Joe and Trump, if it's going to change public opinion.
Well, first of all, will they even have debates? And if so, will it change public opinion?
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to change any public opinions if they do have any debates, because a lot of people are really set in what's going on. And now I've been seeing a lot of lesser evil is still evil shit.
Oh, yeah.
Coming around. Like I said, I think Biden might catch a break if there are no debates. Like, I think he might be better off. I don't know, man. I don't know. If they do decide to do them, though, then in my mind, I'm thinking more cynically that they're doing it to make sure that Biden loses.
Oh, yeah, your conspiracy theory, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where my head's at. I'm like, if they really push these debates, like if they're like, okay, we have to do this, then I'm like, oh, they want Trump to win 100%. That seals the deal for me.
Andrew, thank you, and sorry to hear this. It's a bit sad today. Somebody I work with died from the virus. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Sucks, dude.
I think the Democrats will go out of their way to keep the number of debates limited. I don't think in modern times you can get away without a debate.
Right.
I just don't think they can. I think they'll try. I think they'll use it. No, look, Corona. And I think a debate hurts Biden immensely. I don't think it'll be as bad as when he debated Bernie, because if you go back and watch, he did a pretty decent job debating Bernie, but there were still stories that popped up of, look at the gaffes here. Like, really? He just kind of stumbled a little bit and caught himself.
Well, and Bernie also didn't take any advantage to actually go after Joe. There was no acrimony at all. And you know that Trump is not going to have that kind of holdback. The other thing, too, is that, like, oh, we should have a debate over Skype or something. Like, can you imagine the delays and the technical issues that would arise out of trying to do that? Like, just some kind of, like, lag between answers or stuff? Nah, not going to happen. Nah.
Faithless said Bernie never attacked his ability. That's true. He just let it go. And Trump's not going to do that.
No, Trump's going to make him mad. Every time we've seen Biden completely lose it is when he's under pressure and he's angry. And if there's anybody that can make Joe Biden angry quicker, it's going to be Donald Trump, live and uncut. And so that'll be a real. And honestly, that is a test that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Even if whether I was for or against Joe, which I don't really care in the long run, but the president, if we've seen him act out that way in public under pressure, and he can't take care of himself in a one-on-one empty stage debate with Donald Trump, it's just like when Bernie gave up his podium to those Black Lives Matter protesters years ago. That was the instantaneous. I don't know much about Bernie Sanders, but I don't want to be president, because I can't imagine somebody with that complete lack of assertiveness or sticking up for yourself or just being able to acquiesce to the loudest voice in the room. I wouldn't want that person being president. If Biden can't stand up to Trump under pressure, imagine him trying to lead the free world.
He needs a stress test, basically.
Yep, that's it.
And he really does. And somebody mentioned in chat Jacqueline said a press conference moment can hurt Biden badly. It could, but I just don't know that it will, because they're not really having press conferences and he's not having the campaign rallies.
And the media is giving him so much cover on everything, like this harassment charge. He's not even being asked about that, whereas any other politician, especially on the right side of the equation, would be just dogged with that every day.
The Bernie bros are douchebags. Not all Bernie supporters, Bernie bros. You know what I'm talking about with them.
Mhm.
The edgelords of the Bernie crowd. But Mr. Biden, if you thought that was bad, the Trump crowd is coming for you now. And yeah, the questions over your sexual harassment, the questions over your mental cognitive ability, it's only going to get worse. And I think, man, Democrats, you guys dropped the ball with this one. You dropped the ball with this one. So I disagree with what Chris Cillizza said, that, you know, he comes into this as a front runner. I think he comes into this with the most to prove, and I don't know if he can do it. But with that, guys, questions, comments, concerns, now is the time to throw them in the chat. I will do my best to read them all because I'm highly focused right. I feel like I've been drinking. You ever get no, but you ever get a little bit drunk so you pay more attention to things so people don't think you're drunk?
Sure.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now with just my dear Christ, I need sleep kind of phase. Oh, I do want to mention, guys, there won't be a game stream from me after this. I will be headed right into my bed. So sorry about that, guys. It has to be done because I will fall asleep in the middle of a stream, and I don't want to be a Satsu.
Haha.
Oh my God.
That's a long time callback.
Say you haven't done it.
Y'all ain't shit.
Attack Alpaca asks, have you ever seen Modern Family? The final episode was tonight. I love probably the first 6 seasons of Modern Family. Since then, I've only seen 2 episodes, and I thought they both sucked.
I've never watched a single episode, truth be told.
The last one I saw, it was just like they were trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Where the earlier seasons, it all flowed very well, and everything just kind of came together. This was almost a parody of what it used to be. So yeah, it sucks.
Oh my God.
Modern. What's that?
Oh, nothing. I just saw this tweet between Memory, fucking Jeff, and some rando. Memory said, "I'm not voting for Biden either. Bernie's name is still on the ballot, even if he drops out of campaigning. So I'm voting for Bernie."
Wow.
And she said, "A vote for someone who dropped out of a race is a vote for Trump. Go fuck yourself." What the random said. And Jeff chimed in and said, "We're going to have to say goodbye now, buddy. Wish you well." So I'm guessing he blocked him. And this dude said, he tagged both of them in and said, "Please read this thread." And it's like a fucking 10 tweet thread apologizing.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Jeez.
That's not how it works, Memory.
Yeah.
He's going to be on the ballot for the primary.
Yeah.
His name's not going to be on the ballot for the general election.
Nope.
Dear fuck.
This is why I think that Trump is going to win, though.
Yeah, Bernie said he's going to keep his name on. This is another reason why I think not having a convention will hurt them. Bernie said he's keeping his name on the ballot so that he can try to have some leverage going into the convention to, I don't want to say manipulate, but manipulate the platform. Well, if he gets these votes and they don't actually have a convention, so he doesn't get to use that influence he has, and it's all kind of secretive. People are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Oh Lord!
Especially if in the convention votes or whatever else, Biden gets a grudging majority, like 65% or so. I know that's not going to happen, but still, if it was something like that, that'd look even worse.
Sure. That's it. He's still on the ballot. Yeah, but not for the general. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Oh, Lords, would you try a drink called Lemon Sunshine? Lemon juice, orange juice, and alcohol. Probably not, because orange juice doesn't agree with my stomach.
What alcohol? I mean,
that's a good question, too.
The flavors might not be that bad. If you're just talking, if it's like a super screwdriver and it's just vodka and citrus juice, like, maybe, but yeah.
No, it's rubbing alcohol.
Bleh!
What were you saying, Satsu? I'm sorry, I didn't get your answer there.
I said I'd drink it.
There you go. Did you notice there's now a never Biden, never Trump hashtag?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't.
Not surprised, I guess. Sure, why not?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Monkey, how long after you fall asleep will there be an MIT AM? Well, last night I didn't do the show until after I'd been awake for 4 hours. I sat here mostly in a daze just listening to change my mind videos I'd already watched. Going, I should do something. So I don't know. After I wake up, what has been your favorite reaction so far from these hardcore Sanders supporters after hearing him drop out? I haven't got to watch much of it, to be honest. Guys, anything you've seen?
Just that one chick screaming into the camera, but I can't tell if that's a Poe or not either.
Pretty much the same thing everybody else is seeing. Outside of Facebook, like I said, the conversations that are going on over there are pretty funny.
I would have to say what Satsu just read to us. Mem's Holiday not understanding that he's still on the primary ballot, but he won't be on the general election ballot. That is a complete failure of understanding how our system works. That doesn't mean you can't write him in.
Yeah, you can write him in any way you want.
Yeah. Check with your local state on how exactly to do that, because it depends on what your ballot looks like. Lords of the Night, hey gang, if you think the Trump fans memed Clinton into oblivion, will they have a field day with Biden? Thoughts?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, they already are, but yeah, certainly.
Yeah, it'll be fucking brutal. That is one thing I think Donald Trump, if they do have debates, he's got to be very, very careful with. Is coming off. We understand that he can be a bully and he can be a jackass and everything, but if Joe comes out looking too weak and Trump just slaughters him, that could backfire on him.
Yeah, he's gonna lose his underdog position and pass it off to Biden.
Yeah, but I mean, Biden has to. I mean, he's been keeping relatively under the radar, and not through necessarily any fault of his own, because he's not coronavirus. But from here on out, he has got to become more visible. He's got to become more relevant to the news cycle in some fashion. And as we've seen, every time that happens, he opens up the door for more criticism and more signs of what the fuck. And so I don't know if they have some magic method to somehow keep him coherent while also being publicly visible and available. But you can't have it both ways on this. He's got to come, if he's going to be an actual candidate, he's got to be out and about public-wise. Even if it's from his basement, he's got to be doing interviews every freaking day now.
Attack Alpaca, thank you so much. Throughout this race, would you say Trump will be rushing into things while Joe will be biding his time? Yes, I was rooting for Joe for months now just to make that lame joke. Thank you for your lame joke. I appreciate the donation. Let's see where we're at. Scribe, Spokane is pronounced Spokane.
Oh,
I thought so, but I wasn't positive, so I was like, I don't know.
It's always a roll of the dice.
Dr. No says, why can't Bernie run on the independent ticket? Well, a couple of things. He can run as an independent.
Yeah.
There is an independent party. I don't know how many. There is an actual independent party out there. There's also the Green Party. There's the Libertarians. There's I don't know if Ross Perot's party's still out there or not. Okay. There's other parties he could run as. He could start his own. He's not going to, though.
Feel the burn.
The burn party. Imagine if Biden announced he will drop out because he forgot Bernie did. Fuck. That would be funny. And it's not really that far out of it. Is Trump obsessed about the hydroxy, whatever shit like that Washington Post is saying? And how does that compare to the media being obsessed with Trump? It's hydroxychloroquine. And is he obsessed with it? I think he's obsessed with the idea of giving people hope. And I think because he got so much pushback with the press on that his ego is kicked in on that specific drug.
Yeah. And like I say, if it turns out to actually be an effective treatment of some kind, even to a moderate degree, you will never hear the end of it And like I say, given how they've just dunked on him over and over and over for it, rightfully so at that point.
Dr. Nose asks, Scribe Light, have you seen the movie January Man starring Kevin Kline and Alan Rickman?
Many years ago, yes, but I barely remember anything about it except for the box art. I remember the box art. If I remember correctly, it's Kevin Kline, a big long trench coat, and I think he had a mustache at the time, standing in a doorway with a gun and a blue scarf or something. That's what my time at the video store gets me, I guess.
I remember the box art, I want to say too, but I never watched the movie.
Yeah.
Faithless said or asked, what did the OK Boomer girl say? I haven't seen. Somebody should redo that. Okay, loser.
Has she ever said anything other than just being photographed and singing along to lyrics?
Yeah, she has a Twitter show. Or not Twitter show, a Twitch show.
Oh, does she? Okay.
Yeah. She got something like, what was it, 70, 80, 90,000 new people watching her because of the OK Boomer video?
Sure.
Yeah, people, and then a whole bunch of people stopped following when they found out she had a boyfriend. And a couple of people made videos about how sad it is that guys would follow her until they found out she had a boyfriend.
Oh, boo.
Like, really? You guys are shocked by that?
Yeah, Kotaku put out an article today trying to make her rise to fame seem like this really complicated, just like, oh, it was a perfect storm of all these things. It's just like, no, she was attractive.
Yeah. All right, that's it. It doesn't take any talent, really.
That's it.
She was wearing the Bernie shirt. She was doing the OK Boomer song, and she was cute enough that it worked together. There's your perfect storm.
Showing a little thigh, and that's about it.
I still say she looks like a mom trying to pretend to be a teenager. But apparently I'm the only one who thinks that. She had been trying to get famous for quite a while. Yeah. Oh, we should do an update on that, because I think, did we talk about it on this show?
What's that?
The crying chick.
Crying chick.
Oh, that video was fake, wasn't it?
That fake as fuck. So there's this nurse who put out a video about how they won't even let us have masks.
Oh, right.
I quit today. There was an update to that story
yesterday, didn't I?
Oh, well, that good. This is a good follow-up. I don't know if you guys covered this on yesterday's thing, but CBS has refused to just admit they were taken.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
They called the hospital and they did confirm that she had quit that day, but they were also told by the hospital that when dealing with the patients, everybody was wearing masks. The only time they weren't wearing masks was when the hallway. They didn't have to, because they're not with the patients at that moment, with the sick people. But it had come out that she was trying to be an Instagram model. Now her Instagram and her face, or her Twitter at least, have both been deactivated.
Good.
How is Squeetus, and did she do anything new? Asked Dr. No.
Well, she's doing something new almost every day. Now, in order to get our attention, and I know she's doing it on purpose now, because she looks and examines the area after she does it. Like if we walk out the room, or if she wants our attention and we're not looking at her, she'll be like, ah. and I look over at her and she'll look at me like, you're not paying attention to me. And then I'll turn back around and she'll be like, ah. I'm like, what? Would you stop grunting at me, you little demon? What is wrong with you? And then I walked out of the room and she was just in here like, ah. This child is crazy, man. Like she is learning. And now, because she's so mobile, like very mobile, like she's literally scaling shit now to the point to where we gotta like really be careful where we put her and where we place her and all that good stuff or whatever. She's actually starting to like stumble and fall and stuff like that. So she's being very cautious with how she moves around now. And it's so funny. It is so funny watching her. Like she got to the edge of the I had like the pillows on the floor from the couch. They were just like on the floor. and she was like crawling over them, and she got to the edge and like tried to stop, but she tried to stop so hard that she almost flipped over.
Mm.
I'm just like, oh my god, this little girl.
Babies will fall. My son made me laugh so hard with his little girl because if she got hurt at all, like she'd fall on a toy, and of course that hurts. He would throw the toy away.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Like, dude,
Wow.
like, yeah, nothing is gonna hurt his little girl. Like, it's okay, man. They fall, they get bumps, they'll get up. My son, when he that child, when he was about her age, I was afraid to take him into public because he had this perpetual crown of bruises around his head.
Oh, jeez.
He's got a head like his dad. He used to fall over a lot because of that. And he was constantly banging his damn head. And like, I don't want to take him in public. They're going to think we beat this child. It's like, buddy, it's okay. Kids fall down. People understand. Anyway, back to questions here. Just jumped on me as I'm trying to find where I was. Thank you, YouTube. Oh, Lords on the Twilight. Will the show on Friday have the theme of the tiny white girl and the black guys on the back? If not, I will be sorely disappointed, Scribe.
You'll just have to wait and see what I did.
Casting couch.
Name a movie that was bad that had a really good cast. Shit.
Oh.
Food Fight.
Charlie Sheen. Yeah, okay. Woo.
That movie
Oh,
had like
God.
like tons of like well-known high-level actors and actresses, and that movie was ass.
God, I had an image came to mind, and then it suddenly like went bye-bye. And I can't remember what it was now. There was like a big high-profile one where like you had this grade A cast, and it was just like an absolute dog. I can't remember what it was now.
I'm trying to think, and I'm not placing it. I'm sure there's plenty.
Yeah, no, there's tons.
Yeah, name me some crappy movies, because it's been a while.
Okay, well, let's see. What's box office bombs of all time? Here,
Oh, there you go.
I'll tell us real quick, because usually those are list of biggest box office bombs. The 13th Warrior, Antonio Banderas, and mostly nobody else of name.
I don't think Banderas is a very good actor.
Let's see. The Alamo. Yeah, you had Billy Bob Thornton, and you had who am I thinking of all of a sudden?
I'm not sure, but while you're remembering, let me get this Streamlabs real quick. Thank you, Sanguine, who says, now I just got a mental image of Squeetus grunting from like the top of a cabinet, bookcase, break front, chandelier, etc., looking down as Satsu and Squishy are trying to find her. You're getting warmer.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, I mean, the 2016 Ghostbusters, those were relatively big names at the time for what it was. And the franchise was a big name too. Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds and Peter Sarsgaard and everything. Hudson Hawk. Oh yeah, Bruce Willis and all those guys. Yeah.
Oh, look, that's not a bad movie though.
No, it's not. It's not.
It might have been a box office disaster, but it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
Harbo says, what are our thoughts on Linda Tripp's death? I'm not happy anybody dies unless they're like a horrible, shitty person. She was shitty to a friend. And I think that I wouldn't want to be her friend, but I'm not glad she died or anything.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Oh, I forgot to mention too. Squeetus, like she's eating like the little baby food and stuff that we give her now. Before it was like very difficult to feed her or whatever, but like now, oh my god, I sit her down in that chair and she knows it's time to eat. She is the most happy. Like oh my god. Sometimes I can't feed her because she won't stop smiling or laughing. I'm like, girl, close your mouth so you can eat. So funny.
Star Trek V was directed by Shatner. I'm not sure where that came from, but fair enough. If that's part of the film thing, though, I wouldn't consider any Star Trek cast necessarily to be great actors. Some of them are good actors, but especially with the original series, it's like, ooh, overacting 101, please. Oh God, it's jumping again. Ocean's 8. I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, the Ocean's movies. Those were right. Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah, you got these big ensemble casts of big names, and then it goes.
Mhm. I liked Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12. I would say Ocean's 12 because that movie was garbage.
Yeah, the first one was fine. I mean, it was a fun movie, and then it was like, okay, there's only so many times you can get away with the same shtick. You really should have just done it once and let it sit, like the original was all by itself.
That reminds me, The Godfather Part 3.
Mm.
You're gonna talk about some good actors in there, and it was just a fucking horrible movie.
Yeah.
But yeah. How many meals could you get out of a 1-meter long and 4-inch thick steak? For just me? 2. I can eat the fuck out of some steak, yeah.
I haven't had a steak in a long time.
Monkey, can you see that picture I'm sharing?
Is it okay if I share it to everyone?
Yeah.
What in the hell? No. Anyway. Let's see, 1-meter long. What is that? That's
3 feet.
How many?
Thereabouts.
What is it? 2 feet?
Is it 2 feet in a meter or 3 feet in a meter?
Something like that. Fuck. I don't know. Several. I'm not a butcher, man.
Right. I don't fucking know.
Was Hillary involved in her death? I don't know where Hillary was. I think we should check and see if she's got some scrubs at home. What nude scene in a movie stands out in your mind the most? Nude scene.
Puppet Master 2, Charlie Spradling.
I don't know.
Probably the one that stands out to me because it was like one of the first nude scenes I had seen in an actual movie as a kid was the American Pie.
Oh yeah.
That always,
The other one I do is the one, like Satsu said, one of the earlier ones, the nurse in Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
I remember a movie, and I can't tell you what it's from, but this woman comes into the room, and you don't see everything. She's actually mostly silhouette, but you see her pubes very well.
Oh.
And I was young, and I was like, ooh, that's vagina right there. I can't tell you what it was from, though. Max says Boogie Nights. Oh, Boogie Nights has some great scenes in it. It also has some really creepy scenes in it.
Yeah, it was a mixed bag on purpose.
Don't say the dick scene from that Marky Mark movie, please. I wasn't going there, but yeah, that was fake, y'all. That was a Play-Doh dick.
Play-Doh dick.
Has Squeeta said her first word yet? Asked Dr. No.
Dada.
I mean, basically. Or now she's actually switched to just da now.
Da!
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 Oh.
So yeah.
I have to report my youngest granddaughter did say grandpa.
No.
But she said mama first, so I'm disappointed that child gets cut out of the will.
Mm.
The other two said grandpa first, so who would you rather get stuck in quarantine with, Hillary Clinton or Greta Thunberg?
Oh, God.
I mean...
Probably Greta. I ain't gonna lie.
I'd
play video games with me.
I'd say this. Hillary Clinton probably has some really interesting stories. That's about it. Greta Thunberg would be boring for me.
Yeah, I have nothing to talk about with a little socialist kid who's been programmed by her dad and doesn't know what else to say. But I'm pretty sure I could talk Hillary into sucking me. What? Close your eyes. It'll feel just like anyone else.
You know she eats dicks, right?
You see, she just was never learned proper. You got to flick them on the nose. No.
Sometimes that makes them bite down harder.
No, there's a certain place on the ridge you get them, and it makes them open their mouth.
Ah,
yeah.
You sound like you you're talking from experience.
I used to be a trainer. So Squeedus says yes in Russian.
Da, da, da.
Mata says, "Oh lords, why is your thoughts on roving band? I'm guessing. What is your thoughts on roving bands of rats in New Orleans out in the day?
Isn't that just normal for New Orleans?
No,
it's a dirty town. What'd you expect?
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there, especially the French Quarter. I mean, that place. I don't know if I hit it on a bad day or something, but it smelled like sour vomit the whole night.
Terry, thank you so much. Hillary has interesting stories, but she has to kill you after you hear them.
Oh, I was only given two options.
I just bug her the whole time asking her who Chelsea's real dad is.
Oh,
see if even she knows.
Where's that red hair come from?
Man, why don't she look like your husband at all?
It was Bert all along.
Bert.
Rich says, Greta, I can probably help her relieve some stress. Rich, I hope you're young enough to be making that statement.
Holy shit, dude.
Cannibalistic Wizard says, could you say Greta is regrettable?
That sounds like something. That sounds like a joke I'd make.
Not to her parents, man. They're making bank off that kid. How many children has Bill fathered? Well, reportedly at least one, but it wasn't Chelsea. There is a rumor that he has a kid down there somewhere in Arkansas, a little half black baby. That actually, if you've ever seen the pictures, looks like Bill. I don't know what has happened with the DNA testing and all of that that's gone on since, but yeah, there was a little it was a boy. And yeah, he looked like a brown Bill Clinton. Do you guys believe the theory that this clean air we have acquired from this lockdown is going to be bad again within 4 days after quarantine? Yeah.
Sure.
When everybody starts getting out there and moving around again and cars are going and factories are fired up, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't it? The greenies out there, they do have a point that the earth has cleaned up a little bit since this happened. But if you're paying attention to what's happened to the economy, it's what we told you would happen if you tried doing this shit. The only difference is we were forced into it by a virus. Chelsea's dad also need to check who Chelsea's mom is. Got to ask on Obama's daughter. No, if you look, Chelsea popped out of Hillary. Somebody put their dick in there. And yeah, Obama's daughters. I don't know if anybody knows who the mom is of those children, because Michelle's a boy. The temperature will spike, and temperature won't spike. I mean, we'll just have a little more pollution for a little bit. I think we're all caught up on questions. So if you have any more, get them out there right now. Gentlemen, is there anything we need to be shilling before we log off here tonight?
Well, I mean, we'll be on Satsu's channel tomorrow night.
Indeed. But you don't have like a stream schedule tomorrow?
Schedule. No, I do them as I'm able to. So if I have a TED Excellence tomorrow, it will be sometime in the neighborhood of around 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. I will put out a notice at least a half an hour ahead of time if that's so. If I can't or won't be doing that, I'll also put out a note on Twitter. Don't know which one I'll do yet, but I have a couple of contenders if I decide to.
Satsu, you have any solo stuff coming out that you'll be streaming?
I wanted to do some more Resident Evil, but lately, just with all the stuff that's going on, I just haven't had time to do anything outside of my scheduled stuff.
Gotcha.
So be on the lookout. If I can, I will, but probably won't be able to.
And like I said, guys, I will not be doing a gaming stream tonight. There will be a monkey in the morning. Okay, I don't want to say that so definitively. If I'm up to it when I wake up, I will do a monkey in the morning. When that is, God only knows. So watch on Twitter. Don't forget to follow all of us on Twitter. Links are below, guys. Thank you so much for coming and joining us tonight. Thank you so much for the donations. You are very, very generous, and I appreciate it. Satsu Scribe, a pleasure as always, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
As Scribble said, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Satsu 2 Cents channel for more Lords of the Night. Until then, your lives make us sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
I am so goddamn tired.